Jennifer. Your big breaking TV. Welcome to White Noise, bitch.
I am good. I'm waiting on you.
Perfect.
I'm waiting on you.
I'm waiting on you.
I'm waiting on you.
Is this the famous Obadiah that I'm talking
Oh, snap.
Damn.
Shoot.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I hope y'all had a chance to check out that special law episode we just dropped on Thursday.
Yeah.
A lot of people checked it out.
Heck yeah,
It's
baby.
your highest viewership ever.
Ever.
See?
Ever?
The Halloween game.
Ever?
You got to get into the Halloween game.
Yeah,
People
baby, that's
listen
what
to
we
you.
do. I appreciate the love, everybody, for real. It's been absolutely dope. And it's not the last episode.
No,
Make
it's
sure
two more.
every Thursday and last Friday, where it's going to be a whole VHS hangout, baby.
Yeah, the last episode of Law will be dropping on Friday night, the 27th. It's going to be a live episode, so make sure y'all mark your calendars. We'll give you the time later.
Heck
But,
yeah.
come in and ask us some questions. We'll answer them live.
Absolutely.
You know?
We'll be doing some special other stuff that night, too. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a hangout, baby,
Yeah,
for
hang
real.
out with the cast of Obadiah Files. Yeah,
Absolutions.
it'll be kind of gas.
Absolutions, baby.
Yeah. Well, today is week 2 of our Spookfest 2023, everybody. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Okay. And today, our very own Nicholas Nikolai, has brought us some guests. Nick, why don't you introduce your guest? You've never brought us guests. I want you to do it.
Well,
You don't even know. Got them outside.
I mean, they seem nice, so I just brought them in here.
Just found us down on the street.
Yeah, I just asked him, hey, you want to be in a spooky, scary podcast? And they said, sure.
Just casually like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, okay. It's
I know.
like, he's heard me tell stories from where I was living for a decade, and he's like, you need to share some of this shit with the boys. And I'm like, okay.
Come on.
Yeah,
That's right.
that's what I'm talking
So
about.
go ahead. We'll start with you first. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you is.
Alright, so I'm 44. I'm
Yes.
retired. I'm actually, like, I'm gonna go back into the workforce eventually, but, I was retired military contractor. I kind of like, alright, I'm done. I'm disabled. I'm gonna just go do my thing up in the mountains for a while, and I just fell into the cannabis,
Like
industry
yeah.
and everything. My neighbor's like the keeper of one of the OG strains, and it's like it was like 10 years. It was fun. But I'm telling you, when on that walk home at night, I would see some shit
In Santa Cruz.
in Santa Cruz Mountains, man. Oh
have mercy.
yeah,
Okay, so we just gonna dive right into it,
Lord,
baby.
well, let's
get
introduce
it.
our other new homie.
Yeah,
The other homie.
The other homie. Who are you?
you're right.
Well, I'm just
He's
roommate.
just the
Oh,
guy.
you're just Nick's roommate.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
yeah.
Fuck.
Dang, don't say it like that, man.
I know.
Nick
You
is
want to live
cute.
with Nick? I would.
Exactly.
I would.
It'd be hella fun.
Yeah,
It'd be hella fun. He's only cute.
No, I definitely.
And he be chefing it up every night too.
Yeah.
Man,
How is
come
Nick's
on.
cooking? Is it as good as he tells us? He never brings us shit. He's brought us. I'm like, he brought us one
He
thing
brought
one
us-
time,
He brought us dessert.
and it was good. It was
I
very
brought you
good.
cake.
That was an
Yeah,
act of
yeah,
war.
it was
that
good.
was an act of war, bro.
Man, shut the fuck up, cause you. Never mind.
Why
Go
was that an act of war?
Don't
You know what
entertain
you
him,
did.
Nick.
You know what you did.
I
Don't
mean,
entertain him.
he doesn't feed me either, so.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh, so he just be shoving it up and not
Nah, he
experiencing
chefs
with
it up,
nobody?
and then like, him and his old lady made this really bomb ass Filipino breakfast.
Oh, you
I
met
totally
her.
believe it.
Yeah,
Oh,
she's
lucky
she-
for you. We
she's-
never met her.
Okay, the girl is hella cute, but she's like really sheltered.
Oh,
Like she's really sheltered. So
Yeah.
it's like
she don't
yeah,
listen to the podcast.
Oh, so that's
It's
why
alright.
Nick is really wholesome. That's why they go.
Yeah.
Together.
Santito right here.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Man.
Nick's at church every Sunday.
So how do you know Nick? I didn't catch your name. My bad.
No one caught me.
Des.
Des. Gotcha. Des.
All right, so I knew Nick from our Discord chat, and then these two hooked up as roommates, and I just kind of hobosexual my way in, and I've just kind of been.
Oh, that should be the name of the episode. Hobosexual. Text me that.
Hobosexual.
Oh shit.
Whoa.
Come on, this is gas. Hobosexual. Come on. I had never heard that before. That is fire.
I never.
I kind of, it's like
Never.
I became, that roommate. They never, that person that never left.
She needed to get off the mountain, and I had a room, so.
Hey, but come on, yeah, she's trying to get away from the mountain. Y'all let her in, please, man.
Nah,
Please.
because I was hooked up with this dude for like 10 years. I had no running water. I had no power. I mean, I was living
You was camping.
So y'all were for real living off the land.
Oh
up
yeah,
there.
it was
Liver
straight up off-putting.
Wow.
A Liver King.
So I mean, so you did all this. You're like, hey, yo, let me just get away from the city for a while. I'm retired. I'm gonna be chilling for a little bit.
It was good for the soul. It was good for the soul
I
for
feel
a while.
that. Absolutely.
But if I was going to do off-grid again, I would definitely not. It was like 10 years of how not to off-grid, how not to do this.
Right.
And I'm trying to be like, I know this will eventually get back to the X, and I'm trying to be like respectful of their space, even though.
Oh no, let's give him a name. What should we call this sucker?
I'm just gonna call him the dude.
The dude.
The dude.
All right.
Nice and mysterious.
The dude. Shoot, better than wet nudie.
Okay, so let's just set the scene before we dive into your experiences. Let's just kind of set the scene here a little bit. So you're retired from the military, right?
No, I'm a private military contractor.
Private military.
Oh, that's
contractor.
even doper.
Yeah. So what does that mean?
Basically, I work through a third-party company that would send us into areas the military won't.
Oh
so
shit!
It's like, so I was making fat stacks, and I had I had coke and pussy every night. It was
Come on!
I believe it.
It was
That's the name of the episode.
Coke and pussy. Coke and pussy. The adventures of the hobosexual.
I did that shit for 17 years. It was good. Unfortunately, I chose very bad people to homestead for set up home. So
that.
I'd come back. I'd come home from deployments, and rent would be due. My accounts would be overdrawn. Utilities would not be paid. Just bad decision after
So
another.
people just taking advantage of your situation, pretty much. Yeah.
And it's like, I've been on my own since I was 15, and when you have generational trauma that you haven't had a chance to work through, you don't know how to budget. You don't have generational wealth. You don't know how to.
No foundation to go off of.
You don't have any, you have money, you spend it because it's something you've never had. It's an experience you've never really had guidance with.
Right.
And it's just so I just, I had almost almost 20 years of the money, I have nothing to show for it. I bought my adopted parents up in Washington. I helped them get their place. I bought my bio mom her own place. But it's at the end of the day, I have nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
Man.
So it's I thought Santa Cruz would be my comeuppance. And it wasn't. But hey, I've got some great stories to share with you guys.
Solutions.
Yeah. So Santa Cruz, my experience in Santa Cruz is pretty surface level, right? I know the boardwalk. Mm-hmm. That's it. I've never really heard. Josh was telling me not too long ago that there's a lot of activity up there, a lot of paranormal stuff. And I was like, yo, I had never heard of this before.
Yeah.
I mean, we're planning on we're gonna bounce up to Humboldt for a hot minute.
Oh, I've heard about Humboldt.
I heard
too.
about Humboldt.
Humboldt has its own shit, and and I have experience. I've lived up there for a while too, but I'm telling you, man, Santa Cruz is its own ball of
That's
fun.
crazy.
Oh, so
Jordan
you
Peele,
seem.
man, he was onto something.
Who?
Jordan Peele, he was onto something.
Dead ass.
He really was. Man.
U.S.
Yeah. That's crazy because we actually had a guest on here earlier this year.
Oh, who?
Alwa Gordon.
Late last year.
Late last year.
Late
we
last
had a guest from Santa Cruz, but it was all rainbows and butterflies though, because he's just a rapper, good guy, good mood.
Yeah.
Now we get to hear the dark side.
Yeah,
Well,
I guess so.
it's you get people that are in the know, in the city proper, and the wharf and all the fun things. But you get up into the hills outside of the homeless encampments.
It's a whole different world, huh?
You have illegal grows. You have meth houses. You've got.
Dang.
There is so much. Negativity attracts bad spirits.
Yeah.
And
it does. That is true.
There
It's
is
very
just. There's just so many pockets of bad juju over the generations that have acquired up there. Because, my particular area outside of Boulder Creek, we had family of immigrant brothers. They were called the Hartman brothers. Before the Italian families moved in and sort of established themselves in the area, the Hartman brothers came up and they basically displaced the local indigenous people. These were their hunting grounds. So it's not really areas they would live in, but these were their hunting gathering areas. And they pushed out a lot. Whatever Ohlone were left in the area, they were basically displaced. So when the Hartman brothers came in, set up their lumber, the lumbering mills up on the hill, and they built these chutes, and they basically just devastated the area.
Wow.
Damn.
So it's like you have just all that bad energy that just when the area was completely deforested in the 1820s.
Wow.
So what you see now in like especially along 35, that's all new growth. That was all replanted.
I was gonna say, yeah. Wow.
So
nature has energy too. So like when you disrespect nature and you chop down all these trees and you displace all these animals and shit, right? Like that holds energy, sadness, like plants and animals can feel that shit too.
Absolutely.
I ain't even vegan though.
No, but it's true because something that I just discovered, like just doing what I do,
What you be doing, Bob?
Come on, baby. Come on, baby. I do what I do, baby. Come on, baby. No, but trees literally cry out whenever you cut them down. Like it's at obviously a frequency that we can't hear it at, but like it literally makes like a screaming noise, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. It just proves that they're living too, obviously, and so
you sound like the Lorax right now.
I mean, shoot, man. Let it be like that though. But like to your point though,
my grandma used to tell me that though.
It's
that's
true.
why I believe you. Like yeah. She said she heard it one time.
Oh, I feel it.
My grandma be tripping sometimes.
Oh, I feel it, but
she told me. My great grandma, right? She's not here no more, but she would tell me as a kid, like, cause I'd be like carving shit in the trees. But hey, don't be hurting trees. I'd be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She told me one time like this guy was like, he would like cut plants all the time. He would like pull down this branch of a tree and the tree's like
Oh dang.
I think she was lying, but
no, but it was something that was like put in like a science newspaper or something like that. So I mean, they're going off of that aspect of it too. And so like to your point, like all this deforestation, animals, indigenous people just getting wiped out, and then now you bring in what's going on over there right now. Like it's kind of almost inevitable that something would kind of prop up that shouldn't be there, if you could say.
Yeah, I mean, my neighbor, I'm not going to give too much of his info out because it's just not cool. You got folks that have been up there he's been up there for almost 50 years.
Oh, right. Yeah.
He went up there, he hand built his own cabin, he dug his own septic, he did his own thing. And, it's like, I move up there February, and I'm just kind of hanging on my own, kind of standing around like, okay, now what? And I didn't see anyone other than, the sharecroppers and the seasonal growers are like, hey, how you doing this? And then my neighbor comes over with a bottle of whiskey, a 6-pack, and a half a pound.
Yes.
Welcome to the neighborhood. And I'm like, what strain is this? Oh, it's something, a little something, and I'm like, and that was it. That was it. That was it. I was before I know it, I'm hanging over at his place having beers, cutting clones, and the rest is history.
I feel it. Yeah. So I mean, it didn't take you that long to establish yourself in this community that was going on up there. I mean, minus the learning curves of living off the land.
Yeah, I mean, I made a life for myself as best as I could because the partner I had at the time, dude, he was, he was off working hella jobs, and he made the jump over to CAL FIRE. He's a full-time firefighter now. That's his thing, and I wish him well. I can't hang with that. I can't hang with that. Like, he's never home.
Wow,
and like.
Yeah, like that's a lifestyle for a very select few.
Very select few.
Same thing, like I mean.
Like I just can't hang with that.
Hard.
Yeah. And so with that being said, some of the stuff that you saw, was he he didn't even see like half of it then.
No.
The stuff you experienced.
Nope.
So did he believe you?
Yeah, he did.
Oh shit.
He did because
Did he live there first before you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay, that's
He.
why.
Let me dial it. Let me give you a bit of a. We had a animal hoarder, animal abuser in the property next to us. His name is Robert Burnett. The county came in and took all the animals. Well, I mean, this is county. This is public record.
Yeah,
That's
right.
why I'm.
No, even if it was to say his name, so we go find him.
Yeah, for real.
So
that sucker.
he's currently just kind of like homelessing it in Santa Cruz. But he had cane corsos. Like, he had some decent dogs that he was horribly abusing.
Wow.
So before I moved in 2014, he was doing this shit back in 2010.
Wow.
And there's an honest to goodness dog boneyard in the property next to us. So you know, that's already attracting bad vibes.
Right.
Like, you know, like there was like an animal abuser, animal hoarder situation. It was done and dusted by the time I went, but you know, they still got that.
Yeah.
They still got that energy there.
Right.
And it's always gonna be there.
It's always going to
Yeah,
be there, and
sure
it's
will.
like the one
Unless my
story.
daddy-
The one story that I always tell, and I have scars on my shoulder. I was up there, kind of like clearing up the road and like doing the culverts, and you know, kind of just trying to keep myself busy and sane. And this thing, like I saw this shadow, just kind of like just zoom by. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I turn around again. I start digging, and then this thing, something got me in the shoulder, and my wounds still sometimes open up and bleed still.
Oh
And
hell!
I just
That thing cut you deep.
it
man.
just got me right in this, just like.
Did you get a look at it? It's physical, or it just struck you in the back and you didn't even know?
It struck me in the back, and I looked around, and so I'm standing there with my shirt was torn. I had these open wounds,
wow.
and I'm like, what the hell? Some tweaker with a garden hoe or something?
Right.
You know, I was like trying to like, you know, keep it scientific, so to speak.
Right.
And I look around, and then there's another shadow again, and I'm like, oh hell no.
What did it look like though?
Nope.
Just a shadow, or like did it have a form?
It had a form. Like I saw like it farther up in the woods, and it was like this tall thing.
Fuck that.
It was like this tall, like indigenous folks ask us to not say Wendigo, so I'm just gonna use skinwalker or makva for the rest of this.
Okay.
So it looked like your stereotypical makva. It had the frickin' horns. It was like covered in this like patchy fur.
Right.
This was in the middle of the day. I was not.
Oh,
I didn't
wow.
have any I was working. I didn't have any alcohol. Like I'm the type of person that I will wake and bake sometimes when I'm hurting because I do have chronic health issues. But I was clear headed. I was just drinking water. You know.
Wow.
And this is just like this MF. He was just like standing over there, just like, and there was this drool like this is middle of the freaking day.
Yeah.
And then and I'm like, and I'm just standing there looking at him, and then it disappears.
Wait, so it just vanished?
It vanished.
Before or after it got you in the bag?
This was after.
After.
Oh,
so you got a clear look at it.
I got a
after
clear
it,
look at. He was like, you know, it was like he was like trying to stare me down, like chase me off, like scare me.
Right.
And I'm like, bring it on. Like, okay.
Oh, you bring it.
Bring it.
Because as a Negro, I'm out. I'm like,
So,
bye.
When you saw it, what did it like? Did it like disappear like that? Like was it like...
It faded out it faded out with like your hot boxing and you know your it just faded out like fucking like weed fields.
Wow.
How long was like the stare down?
Stare down was probably it wasn't more than a minute. But
okay. Well, that's still like pretty.
You know,
So the fact that it looked at you instead of just leaving, it said, "Yeah, what's up, bro?"
So
and that was like within a few months of me being up there.
So was that the first thing that you saw that you're like,
That was the first solid confirmation that we had. Because you know, my neighbor had told me stories about the white lady. We also have a white lady story.
I don't
up
trust
there.
no white. No.
We've got like the property is right at a fork. But that's another bad thing. Living at the fork of the road, you know, there's a lot of We've got a lot of legend and lore in the South with indigenous folks with. my culture and all that. Like, you don't fuck at the fork of the road is bad. And I lived at the
I've
fork of the road.
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I've heard that before too.
I lived at the fork of the road, so it's like,
oh shit.
it's like. So it's like on top of this whole, makva and all these weird, shifter things, we have the white lady. So one night, so we hooked up in April, and I was getting back from, this is October, Croptober. He has a firm belief. He has a firm belief that you only harvest in gray dawn because sunlight burns off THC. So that's how he runs his thing.
Uh-huh.
That's how we do it. So it was all hands on deck until the sun comes out, and then cover it up, and then we'll just harvest again tomorrow, kind of thing. So I'm walking home. It's dawn. It's maybe 6 or 7 in the morning. I'm like, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get me some coffee. I'm gonna eat me some breakfast. And there she is, just standing. His road comes up from the fork where I was at. He's got his own private road, and there she is, just standing, solid enough to see, but she was spectral. Like, I could see through her. She's standing right in the middle of the road.
Looks like a typical ghost.
Yeah, she's standing in the middle of the fucking road, and I'm like, can you not?
I ain't got time for this today.
That's the kind of attitude I've got with this shit, because
Right.
just like I've seen things all my life. I've been.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you have this attitude about, like, man, I've been here, done that, like, sort of thing, because the way that you were describing the skinwalker earlier, it's like, if I saw that, I'd be like, yeah, nah, I'm out. But like you said, you were like, all right, come on, dude, like, what's with it? So I mean, and you just said it now. You've been seeing this all your life. If this is something that you're able to talk about, what are some of your earliest memories of things in this department that you've seen?
So I'm gonna share one thing. I generally don't share my background, but I'm gonna share one story. I'm Romani, and I'm also Sephardic Jew. So I'm a Jewish gypsy. Mm-hmm. So when I was in my late teens, I went to Auschwitz, and you've got the tours and everyone's solemn and everything. I saw the ghosts of people just kind of wandering off the trains. Like, I saw the spectral lines of the Jewish folk being led off the trains, and it was very brief, but it was like the first time. Before that, I had been very. I'm pretty much an atheist. Like, I've never been. I didn't really believe until I had that experience. I saw. It's like they were captured in time. Like, they were just like, they were on repeat. And I saw them. And they faded. And other parts, as we were walking through, I saw these souls kind of trapped in this loop. These replays of. So that was my first experience having any sensitivity or any perception of the ghost world or hauntings or anything like that. Paranormal. So it's like if I'm gonna have my first experience, go big, right?
I mean, for real.
Fuck.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Man.
Look, I'll share this with you. Okay. First of all, appreciate you opening up.
Thank you.
That was dope.
Yeah, thank you.
I'm gonna take this moment to connect with you in this way. Okay, because since I was a baby, have been, and I told all of this last year. We did this last year, right? I've been able to see, for lack of better words, like dead people, like ghosts and shit like that.
Yeah.
Right? And over the years, I found a way to kind of just turn it off, and I was good off of that. I want zero to do with it. I've had some experiences with some things that I cannot explain to this day, like demonic things, Yeah. So I'm good. I have a kid now. I'm good. Like, I don't want none of that around me.
Unfortunately, kids are very
kids are
sensitive
very
to shit.
susceptible to it. And I remember, like, my mom would tell me that, like, I'd be in the bath, and then, like, I'd get pissed off because I'm trying to show her, like, these kids that are, like, dancing in the hallway because we can see, and she can't see them. I'm getting pissed off because she can't see them, but I can. I would say like the portraits on the walls, I can hear them talking and shit like that, right? And so like yeah, like all my life, like it's just. But see, I think like I never got used to it, right? Like I've always been afraid of it.
Yeah.
I'm a chicken shit when it comes to paranormal. I don't know why I do this every October, right? But like, I'm scared. Like I'm legit. I'm scared of anything paranormal. Like if I would never walk into a place knowing it's haunted, right? Like there's like I have zero injuries and all that.
Right.
So like I get kind of like where you're coming from. Like you're a kid or you're young, and you see these things that you can't explain, right? Like yeah, like you know my family. A lot of my family practices in you know well we're Mexican, so it's like Santeria and Brujeria, right? Like witchcraft.
¿De cuál parte?
From Michoacan, right? So like a lot of my family they practice that, right? I practiced very very briefly because again like I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
I was just scared at that time. There was a lot that was being done to my family that the person who was trying to like, I don't want to sound corny, but like,
Poner el ojo.
yeah.
You know, just yeah. No, I dig it.
Yeah, yeah. So like I was the one that could help, right? And
Yeah.
so
Because you could see this shit.
yeah, and I mean I'll tell this story too. You know, like the only thing I did was I remember one time one of my cousins, she had gotten beat up pretty bad in school, right? And I remember this girl was just threatening her that you know she'll come after her family, this and that, right? I don't know what the beef was. It don't matter, right? And I remember one of my aunties was like, told me what to do. She's like, you get this candle. There's a certain kind of candle. I can't remember what it was. And you etch into the candle this girl's name. I don't know how many times, right? Even if it overlaps. And then you cross it out a bunch of times, right? And you light the candle. And when I lit the candle, that bitch burned black all the way down. Bro, I regretted it because why they don't know what happened to that girl.
Dang.
She stopped coming to school.
You killed her.
Rest in peace, bitch. Why you fucking out there? I'm playing. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Once that was all the confirmation I needed that this was some shit. I'm like, all right. That was like one of the first things that was like, I'm cool. I want nothing to do with this. You know, like we used to go see this lady. They gonna kill me for saying this, but I used to go see this lady, and she used to live up in the Oakland Hills, but like in the hills though.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not talking about Piedmont. I'm talking about like wilderness in your background area, right?
Oh.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember we were, you know, she had her little altar, whatever the fuck, right? We were outside the table, right? And you have to wear all white. It's for purity.
Oh,
right?
shit. The damn folks.
Them folks.
Oh.
Right? And you have to wear a white head covering, right? Because you have to cover, you have to wear socks and head covering for entry points.
Didn't you even say like your underwear had to be
white? Because,
yeah.
You know.
It'd be like that.
Ghost want some dick.
Yeah,
I'd be slanging. But, so I'd be on the table, right? And then like, you know, they had a rule where like if you get up, you have to put something on your chair because then a dead person will come and take your seat, right? And then like, I remember I was sitting at the table. It was nighttime, right? And I'm like looking like daydreaming, right, doing a thing, and I see these eyes fucking looking at me from the forest. I can see it clearly, yellow eyes.
Yep.
Yeah. For a fucking show, like I'm done. I'm like, I'm done, bro.
We got used to that. You know, it's like you see it so often. You like, dude would come home and like, you know, midnight or 1 or whatever, and I'd go out, you know, to grab groceries or whatever from him, and you know, just dead ass as can be. There'd be like spectral. You know, light. There'd be like eyes in them hills that were not bobcats or you know, they weren't cat eyes or you know, fox eyes or coyotes. I mean,
you could just tell. There's just something in you that tells you, like,
yeah,
you get
that's different.
The freaking the hair just stands in the back, and you get that cold chill.
It's a feeling of fear. Even if you're not afraid, there is like this feeling you can't explain that just overtakes you when you truly see some shit.
Yeah.
Like, you might see something like right by and you're like, the fuck? And
I'm just gonna act like that didn't happen.
Yeah, or you'd be scared because you're like, no, I for sure saw something.
Yeah.
But when you're looking at something dead in the eyes or dead in the face,
and they just looking right back at you,
bro, it's a feeling that I can't even explain it, man. Like, And so I was done with all that, right? And I remember one time too, I was at another aunt's house, and this wasn't even a house that nobody practiced nothing in, right? This is a house in Castro Valley, peaceful ass house. I'm just sitting there at the table, just like I'm sitting right now, just like this. My mom and my aunt are talking in the kitchen. I'm in the dining area, right? I just start getting hella sleepy. They're talking about some lady, right? Hella sleepy. And then like I remember just kind of blinking like this. And then I remember being able to see myself, right? Or like not see myself, but like I was just aware. But it felt like a dream, but I was aware. And then I looked dead ass at my mom, and I was like, you know why so-and-so lost her baby? And she's like, why? My voice was different. Like, it was raspy.
Yeah.
Right? She's like, why? And I was like, because whatever entity knew she wasn't ready, and it didn't want to bring it into this world. And then I remember, like, I blinked again, and I was hella asleep. Like, you know when you feel like you just wake up from a nap? I'm like, what the fuck? And they were just looking at me like, what the fuck? And it turned out, like, this lady lost her baby. Yeah, it was she would practice to like this saint. I don't even know if he's really a saint at this point. I was lied to so much about this type of shit that I don't know what was true and what wasn't anymore. I can just tell you what I thought,
like that,
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I'm cool, man.
Joel,
what?
I just want to say I'm sorry.
I'm coming for you, bitch. I got a candle with your fucking name on it. 13
You do not like feet. You can beat Jashine's ass. Isn't
Ooga booga, Tuscaloosa. I'm gonna fucking yeah.
Tuscaloosa.
I don't know, bitch.
Oh yeah, speaking of the paranormal,
What's up?
we got some photographic evidence.
Oh
Yeah,
shit! Come on.
Okay, so
I'll just disappear.
how I tell you that she shows up in the middle of the day,
Oh,
you can see
heck
her.
no.
That is not a Photoshop.
Absolutely not.
We were taking
Pass that thing around.
Yeah.
Yeah,
were
pass
taking-
that thing around. Is that
Send it to
okay?
me.
That's her. That's the white lady.
That's the one you saw at the fork of the road.
Yeah, that's
okay.
the lady.
Now, let me ask you this. Is it okay if Nick sends that to me
Yeah,
and
go
then
ahead.
we post them so our viewers can see what we're seeing? Is that okay?
Let me get it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, no. Fuck that. Fuck. It's got a face, but it has no features.
It has no features, and
That's fucking
she
creepy.
used to love to
Look
like.
at the face.
Oh heck no.
She would like she would just like
Send it to Nano.
she would appear reflections on surfaces like cars, and this ended up being this was like a reflection on one of the sharecroppers that worked with my neighbor for a while. He was taking pictures of his girlfriend, just like just against the, and this she appeared as a vision right on the girlfriend's arm.
Oh.
And
What
it's
the
like,
fuck?
like I saw the original picture, and like I've seen her do this on cars and stuff. So it's like, I'm like, nah. I was like, you actually got a pic. You actually caught it on film. Like you actually.
That's crazy. Like
Now,
wow.
do you have any? Does anybody in the area know who she is or who she could be?
We think. Like I'm trying to keep this is a private road.
Yeah.
Because a lot of these ghost hunters, they love to go. And,
Yeah.
Like
Right.
this is
True.
a private.
Exactly.
Like this is a private road in the Santa Cruz mountains, and if anyone goes nosing around,
You'll
you're
get
gonna
shot.
you're gonna end up like tripping up with growers because there's a lot of industry up there.
Right.
But we think that before the Hartman brothers got established and became townies and bougie and shit, we think that this was the wife of one of the younger brothers. And there's stories that she was, quote unquote, simple. She may have been autistic, she may have been, but they married, she got married and she lived up there, and she would go from the cabin to the
I'm sorry, sir. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Hey, please continue. Please continue.
I can't see what y'all are
No,
fucking
it's
doing.
okay.
You really
I'm
don't
sending the
want
picture to my cousin, and he sent me this meme that's hella stupid.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Like, people won't
He
believe.
knows exactly. He's laughing. He knows exactly what it is.
A lot of people will say, "Oh, that's Photoshop." I'm like, nah. Like,
That's crazy.
You see these things and it's like, nah.
Because you can clearly tell that it's a woman, but like you said,
Yeah.
you just can't, like,
So,
yeah,
just going through
crazy.
the archives in the town and asking the neighbors and all that, we think that she might have been like the wife of one of the younger brothers before they became a townie and all. And she's probably buried up there for all we know.
She probably is.
Yeah,
Back
I think
then,
so.
yeah.
So
I think
it's
so.
like she's just kind of caught in this loop where she'd go from the cabin to the creek to get water, and she's just been in this.
Yeah.
She's just been in this loop. She goes to get water. She goes to hang out by the river, and then she goes home.
Is she? Do you think the scream that you heard from the creek one day?
She would do that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
She would scream a lot, like.
Oh, is this the lady by the creek?
Yeah.
Nick told me to ask you about. Okay.
Yeah, that's her, and it's just like I'm like, no, it's like when cougars
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that kind of scream.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And I
know
thought
what you're talking about.
I thought it was a cougar. I'm like, oh, it's just like it's just a mountain lion. 'Cause
exactly.
if you go on the Puma Project website, it'll show you the cats that are tagged and going to like their territories, and I'm like, and wait a minute, we don't have a cat that's active in this area, and it's not kitten season. I'm like, okay, and dude didn't hear it. Dude didn't hear it, and I'm like, I go out and I'm like, hello, is anyone out there? And then I hear my freaking name.
Oh hell no!
No.
Dad.
Wait, so is
No.
fuck! I got goosebumps again.
Nope.
Yeah.
So is that
Baby,
is that her, or you think that's a skinwalker? Because
It was probably a skinwalker doing the fucking screams and shit to try to get
that's
me out.
fucking scary.
We
So-
moving. I'm sorry. We moving.
I wouldn't have been up there to begin with.
That'd be great.
That's just me though.
Yeah.
I'm a chicken.
My stupid ass was up there for a decade, so it's like.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Wow.
A couple months ago, I got an Airbnb in the Santa Cruz Hills, and it was like a cabin that had like no locks. Like it was on somebody's property. They just they built a couple cabins in there.
Was it off? Was it off BCR or 9?
I think it was off 9.
Oh shit.
And like at night, I was like chilling. I was like laying down playing music, and I was staring at the stars because I love.
That's what he does.
That's what I do. I love staring at the moon and the stars.
With a single tear rolling down his cheek.
And like I had the lights in the cabin
said that's
turned
true.
off, and I think there's like some lights on like the deck, like these lights. So that was like the only light I had, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I hear like this chanting.
Fuck that.
It was like faint,
That shit.
but like I could clearly hear it, and oh my dude, I'm like, all right, well my night's done. Like,
Nah.
it was like, dude, it was like
Nah.
1:30 at night too.
Oh, Jesus.
Nah.
The Wiccans used to have a huge gathering area, the Starhawk, like that tradition. Way back when, like in the early 60s, 70s, like they had their gatherings up there. No, it got bad up there. Like,
Fuck, that's what you heard, bro.
Dude, I clearly heard it. Like, I got goosebumps. I could just talk about it. I have goosebumps. I went back into the cabin, and like this cabin was like, so like it was like a triangle shape, but one side would like lift up to the deck.
yep.
And
I think I actually know the property.
oh really?
I think I actually know the
There was
property.
no locks on the cabin, so like
Well, how
somebody
could
wants to get in. Like,
How could they even do that though? Like, was it not like a safety thing?
I don't know. You know the California law? I don't.
I have definitely been to a couple campsites where they just don't lock anything.
Yeah.
It's common. I've gone to campsites where they just don't have doors and windows.
What the fuck?
Well, I mean, it's either that or you're in a plastic ass tent with things providing no type of
I feel
support or
safer in the
structure.
tent, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's wild.
I don't know why. It is wild, but I don't know why. But I would feel safer in the tent. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like so relaxed, having a great time, and then
Yeah, the Santa Cruz, like it's quiet. You hear the smell of the trees.
Yeah.
And then you're just like the moment you're vibing, and the green hits, you're good, you're in a good mood, and then suddenly the crazy shit starts. It's like, really? Can we not? I'm trying to enjoy this overpriced shit. When he walked into cracking in the corner because I was all out. Like, can we not?
Right. Would there be certain times of the year where you notice maybe things were a little bit more active, or was it just like it was constant?
Solstices.
Oh, okay.
Like around this time of year, like getting like
December.
December, October, like most of the winter, like there was a lot more activity in the deep winter than in the spring, but definitely like around like what we considered Beltane, like around that's when we tried to put in the crop by the first day of spring, like around that and between May 1st. So we were bringing, like, we were digging up a lot of energy, and when you plant, you attract.
Yeah.
Like, you bring up energy, you attract energy. And there was a lot of activity. There was a lot of eyes in the woods. There was a lot of spectral this and this and then. And planting season is when I saw the deer with the horns and
the one that attacked you.
No, this is something different.
Oh,
this is like
we gotta get into that.
These are those deer that are not quite deer that you like the.
Oh, like from the movie Antlers.
Something like that.
What the crap? You talking about deer that ain't deer?
Deer that ain't deer. These are like skinwalker things that are like they look like deer, but they're like why does that deer, quote unquote, have fangs? Why,
fuck that! What the fuck?
Why is it chewing like? I was walking home after putting in we put we put the plants in, we had family dinner, we were just like doing whatever, and my happy drunk ass is walking home. I'm staggering. Like I'll be straight up, I will always tell you if I was under the influence of like in any of these encounters. My ass is staggering home. I've got my flashlight. I'm trying to make it home safe. It was like a mile. It was like 1.3. That's crazy. It was about 1.3 mile walk on this rural road, just coming down. Just to get to our old place, and there in the middle of the road, I had encountered there was a dead deer. That I it's like it fucking stunk to high holy hell. Like I smelled it. I'm like, okay, I'm almost home. The landmark, the hippie landmarker, and then I hear like I'm coming around the corner. I can smell this carcass, but I have not had line of sight yet. Yeah. Like I smell it. Okay, I'm almost home, and I go around. I start going around the corner because it was downhill and blind corner. So I smelled it before I heard the crunching. Oh. And I heard the crunching, and I'm like, oh shit! There's a mountain lion eating on the carcass.
Right. I think the same thing. I kind of calm my tits a bit, and I'm like, okay. I went around, and there was this fucking deer chewing on this carcass, and I'm like, that's not a deer.
Deer don't eat meat like that. Or they don't eat meat at all, right?
No, not at all. No.
I'm like, yeah, that's not a real deer. So I'm like, my ass backed the fuck up, and I slept on my I want to hang back out for a few hours, and I got to ride home. I was not like no. Yeah. I like my ass is stupid brave, but I'm not that stupid brave.
Yeah. Was that the first time or not? Was that the only time that you saw this?
No, that was the first time I had seen it, but.
Not the only.
Not the only time.
What was the other instance of you came across this thing, if we could
say? During the pandemic, my neighbor kind of went off the bed. He started using recreationals or whatever. Like he kind of went off in his own little dark, and we were not like talking so I wasn't part of the cycle of life up there for a year or so, and. I was taking my walk just to get out of that, because I was stuck up on the mountain for months at this point. Like, I was just not going anywhere. I went for a walk in the afternoon, and up in the hills, I heard bells.
Like, fuck that.
I'm like, okay, somebody's stray dogs are up here. Or there's a practice up in the Santa Cruz Mountains, people will put bells on their trucks to kind of warn the deer to get out of the way to kind of.
Yeah.
It does actually help reduce
That makes sense.
accidents.
Yeah.
So I heard bells. I'm like, but I didn't hear an engine. I didn't hear about like diesel or anything.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I hearing bells? So I look up on the hill and there's that thing again. And it's just kind of looking at me, and this is dead ass middle of the day. I'm like, that's not a deer. Why is it drooling? Oh God. And I didn't get into my, like, the classic pandemic heavy drinking until months later. So I was actually pretty sober during this period of time. So I had first encountered this, drunk off my ass. I'm like, oh, well, it's just me, getting...
Yeah.
Right.
Like, I had like, oh, I was just drunk or whatever. But no, this was dead ass. I was middle of the day. I was clear-headed, and I saw this thing up in the hills, and it's just like,
Right.
great.
This is the deer with COVID, maybe.
COVID deer!
What? So you said it has fangs and
It had fangs. It had a crazy rack. Like,
it was just
Unnatural.
human.
Yeah, let me
get that deer's number.
I was waiting for somebody.
we don't have that type of deer in the Santa Cruz
Right.
Mountains.
Right.
Like, this is not the type of deer that we have, native to this area. Then, our little deer have these cute little horns.
Yeah.
They're tiny.
Right.
This motherfucker was huge, and
Like a moose.
and then it lifted up. That
Oh.
was not a claw, dog. That was like almost like a hand.
Whoa.
It was like
So what's the deal with this thing? Is it like a skinwalker type
it's like
of
a
thing?
skin. It's a type of skinwalker.
There's types.
There's types.
I just
There's
thought it was
there's
Right.
like the humanoid type. There's like the type that's like anthropomorph. Like they're like part human, part animal. And then there's the dog types, the ones that look like dogs. That's another story that I will share with you as we get to it. There's like dog types, and there's wolf types, and there's just shadows.
Wow.
So there are classic.
Right.
I thought one can just do it all.
Yeah.
One can, but they tend to. It seems to be they prefer to manifest in certain ways.
Got you. Yeah.
They find like they find like the form that they're like the most they find the most power in, and that's what they manifest. It seems like they feed off our fear.
Yeah. Oh,
They feed off our fear, and they just
eat good off of me then, bro.
be like, no, there was a fucking buffet off of me too, because like I was not in a headspace for that shit.
That's crazy.
Man.
I'd be hella scared.
Yes.
So I mean, what? So you're seeing all these things going on, I mean, you got some white lady screaming in the creek.
Yeah.
You got.
White people are known to do that though.
I mean, yeah, it'd be
I
like
forget
that. You got these skinwalkers. Like, what made you like, hey, like I'm still gonna stick it out. I'm still gonna, do my thing up here. Like
My broken ass is trauma bonded with this individual, the dude. I was, I had my own fucked up shit that I was working through.
right.
It's like, and then I just after 10 years, I'm just like I can't do this anymore. I gotta bounce. I'm not gonna like that part of my life doesn't need to be out there. Just like that's my own business.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's like because of the situation with the dude, I stayed a lot longer than I should have. And well, hey, I've got some great stories to share for years to come.
Granted, but no, that makes sense now, because I can just imagine some people, or even myself, of just being like, I mean, dang, you see all this stuff, like, girl, I'd be like deuces, I'd be out of there,
Yeah.
So that totally makes sense though, that there was a whole nother situation that obviously, like you said, we're not going to get into, that you're like, you just got to stick it out up there, or at least you felt that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, it's like I had built a life for myself up there, and it's like I still feel I still feel a little guilty about bouncing on my neighbor, but like I hooked him up with I kind of like before I left, I'm like, here's like other friends in the area that are reliable and are not gonna rip you off.
Yeah.
Like, so I kind of like did new connections there before totally bouncing.
Right.
It's just I don't like to just leave things just half done or whatever.
I feel that.
Also, I'm sure, like, growing up and being, like, sensitive to the supernatural did kind of help compared to, like, somebody who just randomly sees that deer
Yeah.
Just
You know,
Yeah.
even for someone who's like, can we not do this? Like, are you serious? Like, have that attitude.
Yeah.
I was still like, okay then. I was not expecting this up here.
Yeah.
Because we're pretty close to town.
Right.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
To like a lot of areas that have in the past like had like, you know, heavy Native American population too, like, you know, they believed in a lot of shit, you know. Well, like with that story, remember last week we told the story on the, I forget what tribe it was, but in Arizona.
Yeah.
That story. That was another skinwalker story too.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly.
Yeah.
I don't know actually if that was a skinwalker or not.
No,
It might have been,
he
though.
said
Oh,
he
he
alluded
said?
to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, it might have been. Yeah,
he alluded to that. Yeah.
So, shit. You know.
There has to be. It's like when you hear the same story across multiple, because they were nations, you know, all these Native American tribes. Like
they were
some
all
of them
seeing
were.
the same shit.
If all of them are seeing the same thing, at some point you gotta believe her or not. You gotta ask yourself, like, you seeing something.
I believe no matter, even if only one tribe saw something, I believe them.
No, I agree. Yeah.
You gotta think about back then. It was just them.
Yeah, exactly.
And whatever the fuck else was out there.
Yeah.
And that is scary in itself.
That's terrifying.
You know, whenever I'm out in nature, I love being out in nature. I love camping. I love hiking, all that. But I never feel like I'm alone.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Out there. You know what I'm saying? Like because I'm in someone or something else's territory. Like I can't see beyond, you know, what my eye can see.
Right.
I don't know what's behind those bushes and those trees.
You can literally be a foot or two away from something, and you have no idea.
Yeah, and all this was all this around here. This is all Ohlone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
For the most part.
A lot of it. Yeah.
So I mean, up the fucking hill. You drive up 10-15 minutes, you're in the wilderness.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
seriously.
I remember one time I was hiking with a homie of mine on Guerin Park, right? Mm-hmm. And we went off the trail because we had a piss.
I remember you telling us.
Yeah, we went off the trail because we had a piss, and that trail is pretty heavily, you know, people jog and all that. So I'm not gonna whip out right there and catch a case. So I'm gonna just go off the trail. So we went off quite a bit just to be safe.
Right.
And we were pissing, and I seen this thing. I thought it was a deer, but it just didn't. The face didn't look like it. Didn't have horns though.
Yeah.
Right. But it had like a fatter, almost like a mountain lion's face, but the body was a deer. Like the legs were hella skinny like a deer. I didn't stick around long enough for me to like identify it. I just seen an animal, and I was on my last few drops anyway, so I said, well, whatever, you know.
Like shake it off and run.
I shake it off and I dipped, right? And then my boy seen it too.
Mm-hmm.
You know, says I don't know if he took off first or I took off first or whatever, because we weren't like right next to each other.
Right.
So, but he was like nearby, you know. So I don't know.
Right.
The best way to describe it to someone who's never seen or doesn't have that particular ability to sense is if you tell AI to generate something with very few keywords, like, you know, like deer, supernatural, whatever, what it renders generally is a good approximation of what these things are. They can't quite mimic the thing they're wanting to look like. It always looks off. And there's also another thing that when you're driving down 35, when you're driving down Bear Creek Road, you see these people that you think, oh, they're just, you know, they're just homeless in active addiction. And then they look up at you.
Oh, fuck. Don't say that.
We call them the shamblers. Because it's not quite human. They're just shambling along, just like wandering around, like, oh, it's, you know, it's someone who's, you know, high or whatever.
They're looking for their dog.
Their dog is a deer.
It's a running joke, like, you know, like on it, like legit tweakers are like, oh, yeah, but we're looking for a dog.
Yeah.
You know, like up on our road, and like, no, these are not tweakers looking for their dog. This is just like this thing wearing like this hoodie.
They say that they're looking for the dog.
Yeah,
oh,
it's common up there.
Mm.
Like, nah, you are not looking for a dog. You're looking for an empty property to or, you know, a grow to steal from.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of that, though, you know, well, getting to this point, how did you even find out that there was multiple forms of skinwalkers? Because I'm like Joel, I thought it was like one is the same thing as another, or like they just you know.
I'm really big in like the spooky podcasts and things like that.
Got you, yeah.
So like like up there, I had no internet for I didn't get proper internet until May of 2021.
Oh, so you were like 7 years deep at that point, right?
I moved up there the last Monday of February of 2014.
Yeah, so like 7 years before.
So
yeah,
I would go into town and I would download my email. I would download books. I would download podcasts, and I found out that oh yeah, I'm gonna do the stupid fucking shit, being up in the woods by myself and listen to creepy podcasts. So I'd be like, I heard a lot of these stories, and I'm like, why am I up here again listening to this at 2 a.m?
For real.
I'm just fucking dumb. I'm just fucking stupid.
Right.
But like you hear, like I was listening to podcasts from other parts of the world, and the deer are something that you mostly hear about like in Europe, in Russia. We don't get that tight, like those stories here in the States that much unless you're deep south.
Mm-hmm.
Like Georgia, Tennessee, you hear about these.
Yeah.
You hear about these spectral, like bestial, like deer things.
Mm-hmm.
So for me to see them in the Santa Cruz Mountains, I was like, what the? Nah, this is just my brain fucking with me.
Mm-hmm.
But after you see it sober more than once, it's like, okay, I either need to seek mental health or there's something going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, you believe in like ley lines.
Yeah.
And so I mean, it might be kind of a cool little project to like try and just learn as much about the history of that area as we can. Maybe piece together things that have happened and see if it adds up. That area could be like a portal.
I mean, we have
portal sounds kind of corny, but you know what I'm saying. Like, it could be
yeah.
like a breeding ground for this type of shit.
We have the mystery spot not too far from there. That's like heavy magnetic area.
Yeah.
Oh well, fuck. There you go. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And Humboldt has its own version of the mystery spot, that hill, and there's a lot of stories like mine in the area, like in with the growers there.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like they've got their own stories. I've sat down, like people that come to visit my neighbor from Humboldt, and we've sat down and shot the shit and kind of like, oh well, like I saw this. Yeah, well I saw this.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, wow, okay.
One thing that I wonder myself though, and I don't know if you're able to answer this question or not, is last week Brian and Joel described a story when they were up in the hills, the woods of a certain part of Mexico, and they came across this altar, and they've heard stories about certain type of rituals and other stuff that goes on over there, and you hear stories about that, about people going up in hills, or same thing in Jamaica too. Whenever I go, there's like, don't go off of the back roads, because you'll come across like a voodoo priest, place, and it's like, just deep into forest like that. And so what I wonder, and I don't know if you're able to ask this, do you know if maybe that's a thing that's been known or has gone on in that area to maybe even attract some of this other stuff that's going on?
Like I forgot your name. I'm really bad.
Oh, Josh.
Like Josh had pointed out, the Wiccans used to have gatherings up in the hills, even in our network. We used to have one of the properties used to belong to a Wiccan group, and they would go do rituals up there. And inherently, most neo-pagans are not. They're just gray. There's no evil, because they perceive like what we would consider evil to be a Christian concept, and they don't really. I don't think there's a lot of your classic, devil, like Satanism stuff up there. But before the hippies sort of moved in up there was a lot of the loggers. For some, there was a lot of them that were like mystics. Like we're talking about phrenology, the seance stuff. A lot of them in these small mountain towns, they were big into this they were big into the Victorian, like mystic shit, and I feel like a lot of that stuff kind of got into the woods, and
right. The rest is history.
Yeah.
So man.
My brother lives in Chico, and he's told me some stories of some things he's seen, and my brother, he's a pretty serious guy, so like when he gets like,
he's hella handsome.
When he's kind of scared, it tends to like, I'm like, okay, that's probably real. Mm-hmm. But also like in Humboldt, they have there's a documentary on Netflix. I'm just gonna say allegedly, Death Mountain.
Oh, I've seen that. Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of bad energy coming from that.
Oh yeah, well. You would think, right?
Yeah. I have family up there, like in that area.
Really?
They own property in that.
Yeah.
It's Texas up in that bitch.
Yeah.
Like we carried and I'm gonna be because what you put on the internet can.
Yeah.
So like we had situations where things got a little gray up there, and we did engage in certain activities that yada, and just keep it like that.
Yeah.
And so it's like there was a lot of similar lifestyle between the Santa Cruz Mountains and Humboldt.
Yeah.
So it's like to be vague, I once shot at something I thought was real, but it just.
Whoa.
So.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
But that sounds like that story from last week. Remember how dude was shooting. So kind of like very.
Kept walking.
Yeah, very like summarized. We told a story that we found it on Reddit, so take it how you want to take it, right? But basically, this guy, every year he'll go out into the wilderness for a couple weeks just to go explore, right? And one day he came across like this Indian reservation, made friends with them, and they invited him to stay the night, which he did. One of the elders gave him a map, and was like, hey, if you can survive this, you'll actually come back like a different man. And one of the ladies gave him a talisman and just told him dip your bullets in the ash of the hottest part of the fire, right?
Yeah.
All she says, whatever. He follows his map, finds it, and it's this valley, in between, surrounded by just rock. It's pretty well hidden. Comes across basically these weird shrines and all that stuff, right? There's this giant Did he say giant, or am I making that up?
No, he said big.
A big wolf, right? It was like a wolf, and it was coming towards him, and he shot it. He actually shot it, and it didn't faze him until he ran out of bullets, and he dipped his arrows into the ash, and then they hurt the wolf after he. So, I believe you. You say you'd be shooting that stuff that just wasn't there, especially the area like that, because I feel like a lot of the I don't know. I don't go ghost hunting, right? So I don't know. But I feel like a lot of the tech that they use to detect it's based off of electromagnetic fields, right? Because the supernatural entities, they produce this electromagnetic pull or something like that. Yeah. So it would make sense that you got places like the Mystery Spot and
well, even say some of the most basic paranormal investigation devices are dowsing rods.
Oh yeah, they cross when you come near.
People use them to read people's energies and stuff, but also if there's a supernatural energy, you can use them to communicate.
Yeah, so with that being said, you mentioned dogs and how there's a whole thing with that.
So we had the property that was next to the property I lived at. There was a gentleman, his name was Robert Burnett, and he was a animal hoarder, and he was breeding, quote unquote, this ultimate Cane Corso, whatever, but this man was,
for real.
This man was insane.
Right.
He was doing veterinary, things on his own dogs.
Oh.
He ran out of food, so he was feeding the weaker dogs to the...
Oh, shit.
Wow.
All of this was documented by Santa Cruz Humane.
Wow.
So it's all public record.
Right.
This is not I'm not Let's say.
Yeah.
Right.
So just putting that out there in case someone gets spicy or whatever.
Right. 100%.
But this individual, he really abused his animals. And the grossest part this is not spooky shit. This is just gross hillbilly shit. People would drive on by and he'd be hey!
Oh no.
He'd be
The dog.
She's making a thrusting motion for those who can't see it.
Yeah, for real.
Hell no.
He fuck his dogs in front of people.
yeah, just right by
No bucket required.
That is.
just right by the side of the road. Like he'd be waving.
That's a whole
at the,
new demon right there.
Yes.
Yeah. I
So-
can't exercise that. That's
So that's the type of situation that was next door to my property or the property, and the county came in 2010, took all the dogs that survived. He was banned from ever having animals. He basically, he's in a fight. He's been in a decade-long fight with the county about being evicted off his own property. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But that's over there.
right.
But there was a boneyard. There is an honest to goodness dog boneyard in the property there, and the property was bought by these conservative folk that live in Los Gatos, and they come up maybe once or twice a month to shoot.
Mhm.
And that's all they use the property for. They just go up and they just hang out with the family. They
Just
shoot.
kicking it.
They just kick it. They just do whatever they do, and they mind theirs, and we minded ours.
Mhm.
Do they stay there, or do they just come
No,
for the day?
they would just come up and shoot and then leave.
Oh, they fill
Just,
it.
it was like they had they've got survival caches and
Yeah.
Oh, they be knowing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're that type, and I'm
Yeah.
just I'm already said too much of their business.
Mhm.
But it's they did their thing, but at night especially, when I was when dude was coming home late or whatever, I'd get up and then go out there with a flashlight, get the groceries, whatever he brought home for the night or whatever, help him unload, and we would see shadows with spectral, the drool.
Yeah.
You could it was you could see it. It glowed at the night.
Right.
They'd have the eye glint in the shadow, and then the drool was the thing that I would see most through the woods. That was the most common thing at night.
Wow. And it'd be of a dog, or you couldn't make out.
It was about dog level. But cane corsos they're pretty big dog.
Mhm.
So it was big dog height, wolf height.
Right.
So and you would see this, and then you would hear the howling in the woods, and it wasn't a wolf howl, it was a dog howl. So it's
Wow.
okay then.
Animals can hunt too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You be hearing those stories about
So
dog
it's
die, you bury, you hear that motherfucker barking the next night.
All those poor dogs that were tortured up there all those years, because it took the county almost 20 years to finally have a tight enough case to get him.
Wow.
Because they you only have one shot. And that's what a lot of folks the families need justice and closure. You need to have all your ducks in a row because you only get one shot.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with Robert Burnett. The county, it's not that they didn't care.
Right.
They were trying to get
crap,
enough
we don't have the evidence.
Yeah, he was an intelligent individual. He is, and until he started drinking the creek water, but
That would
he
do
got
it.
tadpoles in his, we got butterflies in our stomach. He gets tadpoles.
Bro.
someone decided to bulldoze our entire driveway into our creek back in the 80s. So the water, it's beautiful. It sounds amazing.
It's dirty.
You can't drink it. Heavy metals contamination.
Wow. Oh, so yeah, he's all the way
He
jacked
got heavy
up.
mental side. He be waking up in the morning. Oh wow!
And God knows, I don't know what recreationals he
Yeah,
did.
seriously.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
after, you be up there, you drugs are,
What's
Yeah.
that, right?
drugs become a way of life because you ain't got nothing else to do.
I hear that.
So-
Wow.
So all these experiences you had over all these years, right? Pretty much all your life, you say, right?
Mhm.
What's the scariest one? The one that has scared you the most, and really just still kind of haunts you to this day.
the encounter with that Wendigo that left me scars is probably in the top 3.
Oh yeah, because that one actually attacked you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
it actually my scars still flare up on occasion.
How long was this again?
This was in April or no. This was like around October.
So one on a year
of
now.
2014.
Oh goddamn! Oh shit!
Oh dang.
And it's still.
Yeah, they still flare up on occasion.
I think cut deep, man.
Yeah, it cut deep. I mean, I was.
Like you were actually jacked up.
I was jacked up. It's like.
I'm not trying to freak you out or anything, but like, have you ever considered that? Maybe that thing. Like. Got in you.
What when all
when it cut you.
When all Lord of the Rings on me, like I'm having like a Frodo. I don't know, man. My nickname up there was Hobbit for a reason, so there you go.
Oh shit.
It's literally one of the reasons they like. Dude started calling me Hobbit just for his own whatever, but they're like, it makes sense because you got marked by the mountain. They all these motherfuckers started calling me Hobbit.
Like thanks, dude.
So that was probably like number 3.
God,
the number 1, and this is beyond my personal situation with Dude. I left Christmas Day for personal reasons, and that's my own business.
Right.
But solstice of that week, December 21st of last year. December 21st.
That's my birthday.
Yeah.
No one cares.
Oh, fuck you, bitch.
Continue. Sorry. Continue.
December 21st of last year. Like we were.
Who cares?
We were laying like we shared like this dude is like 6 foot. At the time he was about 250. Right now he's the homie's down about 220. You know, because all the all the workout shit. But is my little tiny chunky ass right on the edge here, and dude's over here, and the door was literally we had one of those trailer doors that splits in like the one that has 2 leaves.
Barn style.
Like a barn style.
Okay.
So there was only one latch at the top. That's it. That was our security for that door. And I hear heavy breathing, and I'm like, oh, it's so. At first, you know how dogs, when they're being little assholes, getting into your shit.
Yeah. Right.
I'm like, oh, the neighbor's dogs are getting into our trash. I'll clean it up in the morning, and then I heard a heavy step and a heavy step and the heavy breathing, and I'm like, that doesn't sound human. That doesn't sound like it. But I had my hand on a boom boom, I always kept one under and this, like, we would have moonlight because we had all the doors, like the things open, so we had a really big moon that night.
Right.
Then suddenly this shadow just completely blocks the moon that was coming through the door, and it's just like, whoa. and I hear this heavy breathing. And I'm like, and I poke Dude, and he was like sleep. He had like sleep paralysis. He was legitimately out. That's convenient. And I was shaking him like, dude, wake up. And he was not responding.
Right.
Could it be that thing though? That was like
that thing started going like this on my door.
Oh, fuck that!
No.
Shaking the trailer. Shaking the freaking trailer. This is like, this was one of those little. It was a hard top. It wasn't a rag top like Coleman, but it was like the upgrade. It was one of those pop-up A-frame things. And this thing was not meant to take up. I mean, the thing was shaking.
Right.
Like. And I'm like, go away. Whatever beef you got, go away. Like, dude, just go away. Like, I'm trying to sleep. Dude, this is really hella rude. And eventually, it just it stopped. It went like this really.
Oh fuck!
Like it's irritated the fact that you.
No.
Wow. It went because we had like I'm with my own spirituality. I had what we would call wards up. I had stuff hanging on the on the doors, and stuff is anointed. So whatever, metaphysically, psychologically, psychosomatic, whatever barrier or whatever was there warped, I guess, because it eventually, like, you could see it dropping down to 4 feet, but it was still...
Like, still huge.
It was still
in
huge.
Height. Right.
Those things feed off your fear, probably, huh? So,
Probably.
Like, so if you weren't afraid of it, you were saying, no, get out.
It was pissing me off, because,
Yeah.
like, dude, stop shaking my shit.
Yeah.
So,
Like,
eventually...
you're just an inconvenience at this point.
So,
Yeah.
it dropped down to 4 feet, kind of went... kind of like a creature would like angry huff at you, like a bear.
Right.
And it walked off. And in the morning,
On 2 feet this whole time?
no, at 4 feet.
Oh, 4 feet.
Like it dropped down, and it went. You could hear it. And then, dude finally woke up when he heard the screaming. Like it went up farther, and it just fucking this screaming, just like ah. Like a woman, almost like a
hell no.
Wow.
And dude woke up. He's like, "What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?" I'm like, "Something just tried to get into the trailer. Why didn't you shoot it?" Dude, it wasn't human. You should have still shot at it.
So that's why.
So in the morning, there's two. I apologize that I did not take a picture of this.
It's alright.
Like the door, there's dents where the thing.
Right.
On the trailer, and what level, like we had leveled on bricks, like cinders. But these trailers have been up there for quite a while, and it balanced out or whatever. But like everything was just
right.
Like the trailer was like we had to be careful to leave and get out in the morning because it was just literally pushed off.
Wow.
The balance. It's like okay. So that was number one. Like the two incidents that happened up there within the last 10 years. And I think the incident that I shared before, my first real experience when I was...
Oh, with the deer.
Oh, with the deer thing?
No, the experience at Auschwitz. I think.
Yeah.
That just I was nonverbal for like a week after because like I didn't understand what I had seen.
Absolutely.
That scared. That was just like.
Yeah.
That humbled the fuck out of me.
Oh, it would do that to anybody. I feel like, yeah.
So I think. So considering the two of the top 3 incidents that I would consider the scariest happened in Santa Cruz. Yeah.
Yeah.
Stay on the boardwalk.
For real.
Stay on the boardwalk.
Well, the boardwalk ain't safe according to
Don't go up in the pogo nip. That's where the quote unquote that white goat man is showing up.
What's up with that goat man?
Yeah.
So the locals started talking about him like, oh, it's just tweaker ideations or whatever.
Right.
And I know that's disrespectful to people in active addiction, but like. There's like 2 levels of people that like there's people that are active addiction and there's people that just like they just want to party until they die,
Exactly.
So the party until they die crowd, like they're just ideations from them, getting into fentanyl and the hardest shit. But then I started hearing from basically the white sober Christian, crunchy, the crunchy mamas, the dready mamas talking about, like the strongest shit they were smoking weed, and it's like, okay, so the hippie mamas were talking about this goat man in the woods, Dude and I were driving down 9, probably about 2019, and he stops, and there's a thing up ahead in the middle of the road. I'm like, oh, it's probably an incident. No, he put the brights on, and there was this like 8-foot upright looking. It literally looked like how you see the footage of goats that walk on their back legs.
Yeah.
That creepy shit. It looked like that, but taller, like more stretched up.
Wow.
And then the four legs like this, and the head and the ears. It was literally like a stretched out.
Wow.
And he was just standing in the middle of the fucking road.
Yeah.
And dude is like, oh. And we just sat there. And I don't know how long we sat there. Yeah. But eventually someone came up behind us and went honk honk. And then we lost track of time.
Oh.
Dang.
But yeah, there is...
Have you seen the movie Lamb?
Yes.
Did it kind of look like that?
Kind of, sort of, but not.
Oh.
It literally looks like when a goat walks on their hind legs, but like you stretch it out. So the forearms are freakishly long. The ears are freakishly long.
Yeah.
The head is really long.
Slender goat man.
Silver goat man. Basically, yeah.
But it was just all white though.
It's all white. It's all white.
That's what I be telling myself. I seen him. It's gonna be all white. Guess.
Flopped.
Fuck you.
But yeah, that's life as a termagant up in the Santa Cruz Mountains.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess.
My goodness.
They cannot keep us people up there other than, aside from like if they're ripping off ripping off growers, or they encounter this stuff and like, oh hell, I'm out.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, so with all the experiences that you've had and things that you've seen, is it a little bit challenging to even go in Santa Cruz at all, city, hills, or anything like that, even to go in that area?
No. I think for me, most of my reluctance to go there right now is my unresolved issues with my former relationship. It's like more the head game, dealing with the trauma bond and all that. Like, like kind of coming to terms with my personal life as opposed to anything metaphysical or social or whatever at this point.
Got you.
Like.
Damn.
Wow. Man.
Some crazy shit.
Living with Nick, have you seen anything? Because I know he used to try and troll me. He used to try and bring a Ouija board to work, and I don't mess with that shit.
Yeah, he did. He always wanted to bring that shit.
How many times?
Oh, hell of times.
He was sitting in the...
Nicky.
He actually did one time, didn't he?
He was sitting in the...
I wasn't there at the
break
goodness,
room
but
with the breakers, and he had somebody else come out like, Josh, the lights went out. Could you fix the breakers on over there? Tell me why I go in there. I knew something was up. It was fucking so suspicious. I hit the switch. Nick's sitting there at the fucking picnic table with the Ouija board. Hello, Josh. Would you like to join?
Oh, hell no!
Hell no!
Look at the table already.
I fucking ran out of there.
Make it run.
He does shit like that.
That movie theater was haunted, though, too. I remember...
At least Theater 2.
No, Theater 9.
Theater 9.
Oh, Theater 9, excuse me.
Check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out. Okay, and this is actually a good segue to our poll segment, right? So we ask our listeners every week a question, right? We tie it into the show somehow. So given that it's our Spookfest 2023, right? I asked, kind of go off the theme of today's episode is, what's some paranormal experiences y'all have had? Something that scared you, right? So, and we had a couple responses. But if we're talking about the movie theaters, I remember I was brand new there. I think I was still getting trained, but it was like one of my last training shifts. And I remember I was with the homie, shout out BJ. I was with BJ. And it was just us two. We're the only ushers. It was late at night during the week, so I mean, of course, right? So we're falling behind because there's a rush. So Theater 9, I don't know if it's true.
No, it's true.
Is it true? Okay.
It has to be true because I felt.
Well, the story as to why it's haunted.
The story's not true.
Okay. I think everybody just manifested a ghost then, which is possible, right? If you know,
people can attract energy.
Oh yeah, 100%. And I think that's what happened in this case. But people used to say that back in like the 90s, a little girl fell down the stairs and died in theater number 9. Theater number 9 is the very last theater, all the way to the right. It's the smallest theater.
It's all the negative energy from the customers because y'all take too fucking long to get all the sticks.
Stupid.
So I go in there alone. I don't know nothing about Theater 9. I go in there alone, and there's nobody in the theater, right? And I was coming in, I saw nobody get out. I go in, and there's one seat in the middle of the auditorium that, you know how the bottoms come up?
Yeah.
It's just boom, boom, like just going back and forth, up and down like that. And I was like, the fuck? It kind of freaked me out, so I left. I didn't even check if it was dirty or not. I just left, right? And the beat just coming in, he goes, oh, did you get that one already? And I'm like, so I'm tripping, right? I'm like, yeah. He goes, why, what's wrong? I'm like, nah, nothing. He goes, no, like, what's going on? What happened? I was like, I'm tripping, but like, I thought I saw the seat was going up and down. He goes, oh yeah, might be like a mouse or something. That's a big ass mouse. I didn't find out till later that was the one that was rumored to be haunted. Ever since that day, I was kind of scared to go in there alone.
I feel you.
I was cleaning it one time with somebody. I don't remember, but we were cleaning it when the credits were rolling. So you know how it's like hella loud.
Yeah.
As we're like coming down from like the top row, like we're going downstairs. You could hear like stomps, like somebody was running down.
Fuck that.
I never experienced anything that deep. All because I would go in there all the time and not just whatever, right? I don't know, just randomly one day, like I'm just doing my thing, just doing my thing, and I don't know, it's just this heaviness, I guess, if you can say, like the atmosphere kind of just was just it was just something that I was just like, I don't know why my discernment is tripping right now, but let me go ahead and roll myself out of here with this big trash and go ahead and do outside trash real quick. But that's about, and that probably happened a couple times, but like that's nothing as crazy as y'all though, because that's wild.
The thing about that so if you go upstairs to the projection booth, right, so there's a bright light in the middle. So in the middle hallway where they all split down, so the middle is the biggest auditorium, right? There's a light bulb there. There's like one or two more, but the ends, so theater 9, theater 2, pitch black. Unless you turn the light on, but if the movie's running, you can't turn the light on because
I used to see shadow figures up there.
I never saw nothing. If I ever thought I did, I would feel like it was in my head because I'm freaked out. So like I remember I'd run, boom, do my thing, and just dip out. Or like if I'm opening. And I know I'm the only one there, like I'll just turn the lights on, or closing. But if I ever had to be up there in the middle of the shift and I couldn't turn the lights on, bro, I'd be tripping for real. And it's loud because the projectors are going, so it's just a constant humming. Yeah. So it's like you can feel like you heard something, but you can never be sure. And then this asshole would always hide up there and scare people.
I have so many videos of scaring him. But one time I was watching a movie. This isn't supernatural. I was watching a movie in that.
It's talking about supernatural.
It was. Well, this is scary.
Oh, okay.
I was watching the Steve Jobs movie with Ashton Kutcher.
That's pretty fucking scary.
And as I'm watching it, I noticed like a shadow on the top of the screen, and it starts going down, and it's this fucking fat ass spider.
Oh shit!
And I'm sitting there, and I'm like looking around the theater if anybody else is like noticing it. Like nobody's reacting; they're just watching it. Dude, I was like, I couldn't pay attention to the movie. I put my hood on, and I'm watching it, and I'm like doing the math. I'm like, that's gonna land on those people. And I was just like, do I say something and like ruin the movie? I wish somebody would do that to me. I didn't. I watched it. I watched it land on him, and he like flinched. Dude, I felt bad.
How would you say something though? Just knock on the glass?
No, I was in the theater.
Oh, you were in the theater. I thought you were from the projection booth.
Hell no. I remember one time too. So our theater had a huge IMAX screen, right? And in the main like little lobby of the IMAX screen, it doesn't exist anymore. But there used to be like a cleaning room where we'd go in there and clean the 3D glasses, and there was a laundry room in there too, right? Where we would wash the towels that we used to dry the 3D glasses. Well, we were opening with nobody around. I'm going around. I hear like laughter and yelling and just stuff banging around in that room. And I'm like, yo, we are trying to open. Like, who's in there messing around? I open the door. Nobody's in there. And I'm like, what the hell? I come out and Kenny's coming. He's right there, right? I'm like, were you just in there? He goes, no, but I heard that. I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, and it was so loud. Even if it was him, there's no way. Even if he was in there, like, there's no way it was him alone. Like, there was no way.
Those doors would shut slowly too.
Yeah, like there was no way.
Right.
And yeah, by the time we got there around the same time. I just didn't see him. He might have been like a little bit behind me, but he heard that too. I was like, hell no, bro. Hell no.
So what our listeners got?
So our listeners say this. Okay, so this is the first. Oh, and by the way, too, for y'all who don't know, we read these anonymously. We have a link. You can like choose to not be anonymous, but when we read them, I'm not gonna say your name. Or we have a link you click on, and you can submit. Doesn't tell me at all who you are. So all these responses, and for the most part, people use that format now. Yeah. So these are all anonymous. So somebody said, I can't have any mirrors in my room because at night I see this little girl with the face of a horse, and then I get stuck and can't move.
Oh hell no!
The first time I saw her, I was 12. I'm now 30.
It's like I'm out.
Damn. She's seen BoJack Horseman, but that's
BoJack's daughter.
Bodrisha.
Oh,
That's scary as fuck.
that is.
That's
no.
it. Anything that's like goat or horse, I associate that with like demons, bro.
Yeah, that person has somebody cursed them. They need to go to like a curandera or someone.
They
like a
wait
healer
18
to
years to go to somebody.
Don't
Yeah.
go.
That's a spirit. That's a spirit attachment.
Uh-huh.
That spirit is attached to that individual.
I've seen that.
Yeah, that can definitely happen.
Yep, and I know that. I mean, I agree with you because again, that's happened to me and my family, my household before. Yeah, we would find hoof prints circling around the house. Yeah, fucking scary shit. Yeah, go see somebody. Help yourself. Somebody said my husband.
Oh.
Man, the way you guys be blowing up them potties, though.
Nah, he was just on demon time. Hey, that frisbee just fell.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, what the fuck?
Every October?
Every October. So, last October, we got a lot of tech issues. Only in October when we talk about this shit.
Because you're like you talk about it.
Yeah,
like
yeah. We're putting like a beacon.
Like you meant when you speak about that's why a lot of our money after you die, you don't invoke the person's name at all, because we feel that if you call on the dead, they will come and haunt you. They can't be at peace if you keep mentioning their name. Yeah. So it's like, but in the Jewish tradition, total opposite. Like, may their name be a blessing, and we do celebrate the person, and we do celebrate their spirit to know that they are loved and they can go onward in peace. Yeah. So, like, I'm always like, do I mention this person after they die, or do I not? I'm like, I'm just not gonna. Right. I'm just not.
I wouldn't have to let the camera's angle where you should be able to see it fall. So we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will see it.
Yeah, you should be able to see
it.
Fall.
Nick?
I saw it after it fell.
Like it just now fell?
Yeah.
So like
I heard it felt a thump, and then I looked, and then he said
it didn't. I mean, the honest to God skeptic in me just goes like, hey, Joel was hitting the fucking screen and it fell.
I mean, it is at an angle, but like it felt like very suddenly.
There was also
Kim was also moving this shit around like right before we started.
Oh yeah.
So I probably knocked.
He trying to do everything to not psych himself out.
And
He's
I
like,
put this down, I had it thrown up there. I mean, there's a lot of explanations.
Yeah.
There was also like some slight bass. I don't know if that would be enough, but it is vibrations, and vibrations tend to knock things over.
Yeah.
It goes.
Why are you so soft-spoken?
he be like that.
This next person, this is a job for Kyrie's dad. I've been possessed before, twice.
Oh, so then you need to.
Well, who you hanging out with? This shit happened twice.
No, that's something you're doing.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Like,
that
because
friend's
you
group is dead.
can't. just a little lesson. You can't you can attract something to be on you. Like if you hang around the wrong people, but like it's something that you're choosing to constantly do, or a door that you open to be possessed.
Probably like dabbling in some Ouija board.
You're either calling it, or you're vulnerable in some aspect where they can manipulate.
Exactly, and either way, it's you have to, lack of a better term, invite that in, like through on purpose or means that you've been dabbling with. Exactly.
Tell him what your dad is.
Yeah, my dad's an exorcist.
Oh Jesus!
That's
literally.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
Literally. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, his dad's actually gonna be featured on the show in 2 weeks.
That'll be cool.
I'll
catch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 weeks. So hopefully we get some juice out of that one too. This next one is one night I heard the doorbell ring. I woke up, told my mom there was someone at the door, and the person was banging his head against the door. I could see it because half the door was made with glass. So somebody's at your door just boom, boom, boom. That's some hereditary shit.
Ain't it though? Man.
I'd be fucking scared, bro.
I wish you would have explained deeper, guy. Like, did the mama answer? Did y'all call the police? I want to know what happens after that, but...
Yeah, don't leave a hoe hanging.
Yeah, for real. Like, oh, come on now.
So this one's not mine, but a friend. A friend of mine, his dad was an alcoholic. He was really poor, so they lived in these type of projects. The apartment below ours, or theirs, there was a family who had a mentally challenged man. He never came out the house. One morning around 5 a.m., this person's dad was in the hospital. The guy who was supposedly mentally challenged came up and said, basically told him, like, why are you here? You got to go say goodbye to your dad. And his dad ended up dying that day.
Wow. Dang.
That's some crazy shit.
I'm sorry to hear that. That's, man.
What?
What?
Oh, you look like you had something.
No.
He ain't never got nothing.
This one is, it was a summer night. Me and my younger brother were studying, and our mother was sleeping in the same room. The time was around 1 a.m. She suddenly wakes up from her sleep, started pointing towards the door of another room where no one was at. The lights were off. She was pointing, started speaking in a different language, and then went back to sleep again after a couple minutes. Send your mama to Kyrie's house, please.
Shoot.
Yeah, this one says, I randomly thought of a friend I hadn't seen in years, and he died the same day.
Oh, wow. You know, it'd be like that.
It'd be like that. I mean, like, I've had it
really
where, like, I'll think of somebody from my past or whatever. Like, I was like, oh, I wonder what they're up to. I'll look them up, and, like, it turns out, like, they died. But
Yeah.
not, like, at that moment. Yeah.
Right. No, that I feel like that's happened, or maybe someone didn't die, but, like, something, what's that word I'm looking for? Something significant happened to them, you know? So, it'd be like that. It really did.
Sorry that happened.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, you should stop thinking about your friends.
Well,
that's a lesson I took on that. This one is kind of long. One night around 11 o'clock in my bed, I feel what I assumed was one of my cats jump onto my bed. See, I don't fuck with cats either, though. I reach over to get him, but I don't feel anything on the bed. I turn the lights on, and there are no cats in my bed or even in my room. I continue to feel the weight walking around my bed for a moment, and eventually I go back to sleep. Sometimes I would feel it is standing over me. It felt heavy, but I never felt stuck. This happened a few more times since, and it's always around 11 o'clock, which is weird, because it isn't 3 a.m. is when the juice comes, no?
3:33.
3.
The witching hour.
Wait, who said that?
Me.
Brandon.
Oh shit! I was like, wait, no, I don't want to hear that in my mic.
No, like it's because I'm like the YouTube I watch. They're not like heavily into like the paranormal stuff, but they feel a lot of energy around them, and they've done the Ouija board before, so they like experience things, and like they waking up at 3:33, and anytime I wake up to go to the bathroom, like I try not to look at the time because I don't want to like spook myself out. But like it plays a lot more into it though. Like it has to be like consistent.
right.
Like if a room looks darker than it usually is, or like if like something looks darker and then like you could see like a presence and then it just looks even more darker.
Right.
But, yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is.
Well, that's all the answers we got. Y'all have anything? I know we did this last year, so you might not have anything new. I hope you don't have anything new.
I still got nothing new.
No? I bet you can't wait, huh?
Sure.
Wait, for what?
To go to Santa Cruz.
When are we going to Santa Cruz?
No, not we. You.
He said not we.
I'm down. Oh, okay, you go then.
When am I going to Santa Cruz?
You and Isaac can figure that out.
Did I tell you the story about
Isaac want to rent an Airbnb in Santa Cruz?
Hell no! You chicken!
I'll go with you.
Did I tell you the story last year about my dad and the house he grew up in?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Well, shoot.
This is character origin?
I guess so. Shoot.
Origin story.
But no, thankfully nothing that deep has happened to me. But like he said, the house he grew up in was haunted. You know, his grandparents' house. You know, he said like at a 3 instances that I'll tell real quick. The first one, he was a kid. You know, let's just say, sake of argument, he was like 7 years old, right?
Yeah.
You know, this little girl comes downstairs where he was at and was just playing with his toys, you know, and all that such, and He's assumed like, oh, it must be like a cousin or it's like my grandma's friend maybe came by, had like, you know, whatever. So he goes upstairs and he's like, oh yeah, let's just say he asked for juice or something, right? For me and, you know, my friend, and she's like, who are you talking about? No, like, don't you you got somebody over, don't you? Because, like, I've been playing with, ain't nobody over here. He goes downstairs, she gone.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Another instant.
As a kid, did he realize? Or like after she's gone?
He realized after the fact that it was something like, Like, I think he said maybe at the time he was like, maybe it was a neighbor or something. Cause that, and then once other stuff started happening, then he questioned like, I wonder, like, whether good or bad, was it an angel? Was it like whatever, right? But something else happened. So when he, I think this was like he was a teenager. I think when he said this happened, right before he moved out of his grandparents' house, one day, just in the shower, whatever, and stuff had been happening, like at this point. He said he was just showered one day, and then like the door to the bathroom is slowly opening, and he said all he saw was like this ghoulish hand like just reach over, and naturally he's, like anybody, just creeped out. I forgot what he said he did after that, because I'm like, I don't know what I would do. But come to find out, that home was like owned way back in the day by like an old Nazi captain or something.
Oh shit!
And because they found like old paintings down in like
where's his house at?
It was in Oakland. Yeah.
Oh shit!
Yeah. He was in Oakland, and they found like these old paintings of like this Nazi captain or sergeant, whatever, someone high enough ranking, and I guess he dibbled and dabbled in some other stuff, which come to find out, some Nazi some people within the Nazi army were like kind of into that stuff, and it was
they
like
were really big into the esoteric.
Yeah, so that would totally
really?
Explain it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I recently found out that some of them were like really, really into that stuff. It makes sense. It makes sense. It totally makes sense. But then he inherited the house when, his grandparents died, and he said there'd be times when my mom and him, recently were just getting off marriage, and they, moved into there. And there would be like days where just flies and other stuff for no reason at all. They said like it got so bad, like, okay, let's just close all the windows and see. Even then, flies would just be popping up and da-da-da-da. Still just creepy stuff like that happening. And, and stuff that he see throughout the night, and just, feeling that same shrug or tug while he's sleeping, and it just the whole nine. So naturally,
I wouldn't mind getting tugged on while I was sleeping.
That's crazy. You stupid. But naturally, there was one other thing, but I forgot it right now. But naturally, for personal reasons, for my brother, sister, and I, to just have a better life, and then also to get away from that craziness, they're just like, yeah, we out, this is too much. But yeah, so that house he grew up in was mad haunted, and apparently that whole street, which it was just apparently that whole street had something to it in each household, because everyone has like a different experience, some more extreme, and I don't know how you get more extreme than that, but so it was something. Yeah.
Hell no.
For real.
That's crazy. You weren't with us last year, Paul. You got anything?
No, just because I believe in all that stuff so much. So, like, and, like, I'm not going to say I'm not scared of it, but I know that they feed off fear. Yeah, so, like, anytime I do encounter something, like, there's times where, like, I'll hear like a noise upstairs, right? And then I know no one's upstairs, but like I'll keep hearing it. Mm-hmm. And like I'll automatically, like, I'll get scared, right? But I'll automatically go up and like inspect. And like I feel like once I do that, it'll go away. Mm-hmm. I don't know. But there was this one time, well, it was actually a good experience. My aunt had passed away, and my little brother had these toys where like they would go off, right, with like if you push the button or if you pass by, right, and it was like motion centered, and they would started going off as like the very next day she passed away.
Oh wow!
And then we even took off like the batteries and like turned off the switch.
Right.
And then they was still going.
Oh hell!
But we knew it was her because she loved playing with like the nephews and the nieces. Mm-hmm. And I have a Cali lily tatted on there for her because that's like her favorite flower. And where my brother lives now, there was never flowers there like in our front door, and the Cali lily grew there.
Wow.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Dang. Without him like planting anything.
We didn't plant anything. It just grew there.
Dang.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man.
Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I'd be scared if it was someone I loved.
I feel you.
That ass, I would be.
I feel you.
My mom says that. I think she said she had like a dream of that my grandma visited her, and she was like, "Mama, I don't want to see you. I'm sorry."
I don't blame her.
I feel you.
I don't blame her.
It's like you're supposed to be passed on. Like this is a whole different.
Oh, I had a dream that my uncle visited me in my dream, and he committed suicide, or I don't want to change the term because I know it's not committed right now, but whatever. But because he was heavily in like oh, never mind. I'm gonna get past that. But anyways, it was like I didn't have a bad experience in the dream either. Like if anything, like I was at a park and he was at a bench and his bench was just glowing, and I walked up to him, and he gave me a fat stack of cash, and he was like, "Take care of yourself," and that was it. And that's all I could remember.
Dang. Wow.
Yeah. I've had a dream with my grandma in it before, but like I feel like in a dream is different. That if I was to see you in life, like as a ghost, like in real life, I'd be scared.
I agree.
Depending on how the dream is, I wouldn't be scared. Like I had a dream, my grandma, like I knew she was dead in the dream, but like I still hug her and shit, and like, you know, like it was a cool feeling. Like it didn't feel scary. But like if I would have seen her, like my grandpa died, my dad woke up in the middle of the night and said he seen him sitting at the table. Telling me he had to tell him something. I'd be like, I would shit myself and then run back to bed, bro.
What you
shit in
you
my
you can say it up here, Grandpa. I'm good.
Nah, like don't visit me in real life. Visit me in my dreams.
Yeah.
What kind of scares me though is when I used to be a painter, like painting houses. And usually when I would be in the house by myself, it's just more of the knowing of we don't know what happened there before.
Absolutely.
And I know it's like a lot of noises happen because it's like a lot of construction going on. But it's just more of like, I don't know what happened here. I don't know who lived here before. But I always feel something around me though. That's everywhere I go. But good. And honestly, I sometimes feel a lot more bad than I do good. But that's just because I don't know what that is. I feel something's always attached to me. But like I don't feed into it. Like I always, like I said, like I don't act like I'm scared. Like I am like, if I like encounter something, then I'm like, oh shit, I need to go get like una limpiada with some sage and stuff, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, yeah, I don't really encounter much stuff like that.
Right.
Because like I try to stay away from it.
Oh yeah, for real. Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
Me too. Fuck. No, I think the last scariest thing that's happened to me is what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Me and Brian's experience.
Yeah.
We were all y'all weren't here, so I'll just tell it hella quick because our listeners will have to hear it twice. Basically, we ended up getting this hotel way up in the Michoacan mountains.
Oh, jeez. Yeah.
It's a road, one car fits, going or coming, right? We were going up, it's pitch black. Like me and him were in the back of the pickup truck. It had a cab on it, right? Or like a cover. And all we can see is literally just a brake light. It was pitch black. We passed an altar at one point. And then we get to the top, and it's at like the top of a hill. There's like a clearing, and there's a big hotel with one car in the parking lot. Right, and our room had like slept something like 12 people. Like it was just looked like an orphanage, right?
Oh, jeez.
But we couldn't find an employee to check us in, and we were just up there, like in the open, and we just kept hearing stuff like something like going like going around and shit like in the sky. We're like, oh shit! Finally, out of nowhere, we find somebody, right? And this is late at night, right? So we go in. I can't sleep. And I can hear like little kids singing in the distance. But where they were, I don't know because A, there was only one car in the parking lot, right? We were all in one room, so it wasn't in the room. And B, I mean, there were houses like you can see them up more, like so there's like a little like village or something, right? But I can hear it below us, and below us was nothing but forest and wilderness.
And you said it was late enough.
And it was late at night. Like, why would little kids?
Also, so they're gonna be dancing around at night in the woods.
Yeah. So and then it was weird. The next morning, hella cars in the like. Where were all these people overnight? We wake up, the breakfast hall is busy. Like there's people all over. Like where were all these people last night? It was weird.
That's funky.
Yeah. That shit truly scared me. I'm scared of Mexico. I love Mexico, but Mexico's terrifying.
I got the chills
really
again just
too.
talking about it because
when my family immigrated after the Holocaust, they basically married into the local indigenous. Like they tried South America, because that's where a lot of the Jews went.
Mm-hmm.
And then well, it's not a good fit, and there's, it's not it's not a good fit.
Too close to Argentina.
That too. That too. They ended up moving to.
He don't talk. Every time he talks, it's a banger.
Yeah,
no, the man is a few words, but he makes them count.
See where he gets along with Nick.
They moved to Jalpa, Zacatecas, and they intermarried with the local indigenous folks, and they have stories from. There's a family rancho. And they have their own white lady. So my grandmother passed in August. She made it to 100 freaking years.
Wow! Congratulations.
And thank you. She had some stories. Like when I would talk to her on the phone, oh, you got your own white lady. Congrats! And I'm like, gee, thanks, I guess.
For real, thanks.
Yeah.
Like Mexico is just its own level of creepy. It just.
We're gonna get into it next week.
Yeah,
We go over witches and cults, baby.
I heard some stories about I'll tell it this week. But my neighbor, he grew up in Mexico, and he told me about this white witch. And then at Regal, we had a white lady used to come every week and complain.
A white bitch.
I know what it feels like to flop.
I knew you were gonna get me back. Well,
He said, "Well."
Anything in it for you, Isaac? I know scary shit.
Big old
No, I've said it already last year.
Yeah.
Just shit where I feel like I've seen something, or from the corner of my eye, and obviously no one's around, or just shit moved last second. Like recently, like within the past 3 years, I was in my kitchen. I just saw my oven door. I turned around. I just saw my oven door finish moving.
Oh fuck that.
And so that shit got suction on it. So you gotta pull that bitch, and if you.
I'm about to go to your house.
Come on.
You got suction.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
For real.
What about you, Nano? You live in Mexico now.
I was driving past a bookstore, and the lights was flickering, and then the K disappeared, and I got scared. I said, "Boo." I ain't got nothing. I don't believe in that.
Why did I think he was dead ass for a second?
Right.
I knew he.
Yeah, I knew something was coming.
Boo.
Oh shit.
No, nothing.
Well, thank you both for coming by today.
Seriously,
Sitting
thank
in
you.
this boiling ass oven of a garage. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I think that's one thing that we really love that we're doing this year is we're just bringing on these guests that have these crazy experiences, and it's gonna be, I think this is gonna be a good season for us. But yeah, make sure that you follow us on Instagram at Visual House Studios. We're gonna actually be posting that picture that we saw.
Oh yeah.
Of the white witch lady.
Gosh.
Yes, y'all can see exactly what we saw.
If it gives you chills, we apologize, but
Yeah.
dang,
It's pretty freaky.
it is freaky.
Yeah. So follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok at Visual House Studios. Go to YouTube. Type in Visual House Studios. We should be the first or second option that pops up. You see cute little Sammy right there.
Yeah.
Click on it and subscribe to that.
Trying to get on fucking TV.
Huh? I know. Oh yeah.
Man, what they got to do to enter the contest, man?
Yeah. So we like we announced last week, man. We got a contest going on right now. So you got all month. You got until Friday, October 27th at noon. You got until then to send in your photos of your Halloween costumes. Okay, we're gonna round them all up. We're gonna pick the top 5. We said, right?
Yeah, top 5.
Top 5 costumes. Okay, and then we're gonna let the audience decide your fate. Wait, we should end it before the 27th.
Well, let's
so
do
we
it
can
the
say
20.
the winner.
Well, no, we can. Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, no, because then they got all weekend to vote before we meet up. Oh wait, no, because
we just announced it on Instagram on Halloween.
Let's do that.
Okay, yeah. You still got until forget all that. You got till the 27th at noon to submit.
Yeah.
We'll pick the top 5 costumes. The listeners, y'all are gonna pick the winners. Okay.
Is the 31st a Tuesday?
Yeah.
It is.
So we drop it on the 31st. Okay. So we'll announce the winner on our Instagram. Some more reason for you to follow us on Halloween at some point during the day. Okay. Tune in every Tuesday to listen to White Noise. Okay, this is episode 2. We got 3 more for you. 3 more, and then spooky season's over till next year. And then tune in on Thursdays and check out a very special presentation by our other podcast, Literally Anything We Want, aka Law. Mr. Kyrie Daniels has written a wonderful story for y'all, and we've been working real hard on it. So yeah, it's something that's pretty much one of a kind.
Yeah.
I don't know another podcast that's doing something like this. So
Absolution's not.
So make sure you check out this immersive experience, and I can't stress it enough. Listen to it through headphones
to get the best experience.
It's the best experience with headphones, but it's still a dope story if you don't have headphones. You listen to it in the car. I get it, but try to use headphones. We just dropped part 1 last week. Y'all have been showing us so much love. Thank you. We got 2 more parts for y'all, and then we're gonna do a live episode on Friday, October 27th. We'll drop the time later on Instagram, but we're gonna do a live episode featuring the cast of the Law Special called Obadiah's Files. You can interact with the cast, ask them questions. What was it like, recording this thing? How do you make a movie with no visuals? How do you do that? We're gonna tell you.
Yeah.
On Friday, October 27th.
It's a lot, but you can do it, as you can see. Shout outs to, by the way, the production of Joe Franco over here with the sound editing and everything, y'all. Everybody give him a snap right now, baby, because this man worked hard on the sound editing, baby, for real.
2 out of 10, won't recommend.
Hey, stop.
Man, but I love sound. I'm a big sound guy. I love IMAX and RPX and home theaters. So
it shows, man. You absolutely killed it, man.
Sound. Thank you, man.
He's the reason why y'all got to listen with headphones, get the best experience, man. For real.
Yeah. So
I'm a sound guy.
Bitch. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Spending your Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, whatever day it is, you with us. And thanks again to our guests here.
Thank you so much for coming on.
And homie whose name I never got, but you guessed.
Dave.
Perfect.
Dave's Chicken.
It's very much Dave.
Dave's Chicken.
And we're going to Dave's Hot Chicken.
If this was more about nuclear reactors, you'd hear a bit more from...
Oh, shit.
Dave,
we
got to bring you back to hear about that.
Yeah, my man here, you boat boy.
Yeah, I used to work for the Navy. Do their reactor programs and stuff.
So you got a lot of stories then too.
Yeah, but it's more of a science vein than a...
No, we be sciencing it up here.
Yeah.
Well, not tonight though.
No.
Once these lights go back to white, then we're gonna bring it.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, but shout outs to Nick, man. These are some dope guests. Thanks for bringing them over.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. It was fun.
Yeah,
I'm glad. You, seriously.
This was fun. This was super dope.
This was
super creepy. You got frisbees falling out of my shelves. Thank you very much for that. I gotta have Kyrie's dad come now. Yeah, there's a church up the street. I might go grab one of them priests.
Man, don't trust every church you see, baby.
Huh?
Don't trust every church you see.
Jeepers Creepers.
I don't trust any church.
I feel you.
Trust no one.
All right, y'all. We love y'all. Thank you. Wave bye to the camera, everybody. We will see y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
Jennifer, you're a big breaking TV. Welcome to White